This is the Film Geeks podcast.
Let's speak about screw-ups of a complete different nature. And this is not a screw-up, so as to say, but then again, one woman's life gets completely changed after the happenings of a certain kind. This obviously will be a spoiler-free review. And the next movie which we're going to review is Colossal, and I was the only one who watched it. Colossal was directed and written by one of the better directors currently working. That's Nacho Vigalondo. I'm a huge fan of his film Time Crimes. And the film stars Anne Hathaway, Jason Sudeikis, Dan Stevens, Austin Stowell, and Tim Blake Nelson. In fact, film was released last year and had its world premiere in the 2016 Toronto International Film Festival. The premise of the film is very simple. After losing a job and her boyfriend in New York, Gloria, that's the character Anne Hathaway plays, moves back to her hometown, only to discover that how strangely connected she is with an enormous giant monster attacking Seoul, South Korea. So it starts off in a very hipstery love story kind of a way. But as the story goes on, it's more of a character study as to what effects alcoholism and addiction can have on you. So this movie, like I said, is by Nacho Vigalondo. This guy has an amazing vision. I mean, there are parts of the movie which are extremely weird, and I cannot really go on and talk about the minute plot details of this film, but the character development which Jason Sudeikis' character has in this film is something which I have not seen Jason Sudeikis do in his entire career. This is his best work, and I'm not a fan of Jason Sudeikis. I've never liked him in anything except for his small skits on SNL. But I thought he was just phenomenal in this role as Oscar, the the childhood friend of Anne Hathaway. Dan Stevens, of course, makes a very short but funny cameo. He is excellent in this film as well, but the star of the film obviously has to be Jason Sudeikis. Tim Blake Nelson's character is also fantastic. For whatever time he is there, he plays a drunk who is a friend of Jason Sudeikis' character. The character development in this film is phenomenal, just for that alone and for nothing else. And the shot selection is something which you guys should definitely check out. I cannot stress upon this enough. I always make it a point to bring this up whenever we have our discussions on film. This is an original movie. This is not an adaptation of anything. So this is the only reason why you should go out of your way to check this movie out in theaters. There are not a lot of cuts in this film. There's just one swear word which is cut out in the last scene. But whatever comes earlier, all of the swear words is all in there. It's completely uncut. You guys should definitely check it out. It's a very good time in the films. That's about it. I tried to keep it as spoiler-free as I could. I just gave away the basic plot, and I cannot talk about it more because I don't want to spoil it for you, because there are plot points which hamper the review if I go into details for that. So I'm sorry about this this very vague review, but you guys should definitely, you guys owe it to yourselves to go and check this movie out. So if I have to rate this film, I would give it a solid A. It's a really good time at the films. One thing which I would tell all the listeners out there, like Split, you have to suspend your disbelief for some parts of the movie, because it obviously deals with a kaiju who is connected to a girl across the world. So for that, you need to suspend your disbelief. Once you do that, the payoff is tremendous. The last part of the film, the final third, in fact, the last scene of the film is beautiful. You guys should definitely check that out. It's out of theaters. I don't really know for how long, because next week, obviously, the big bad, greatest franchise of all time, Fast and the Furious, hits the theaters. So if you're listening to this, you guys have till Thursday, or probably if you're lucky, till Friday to check this movie out on theaters.